Songbirds Hall of Fame pilot now joins us here on the set on the first turn at Saratoga. Mike Smith, first of all, thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
How do you handle the pressure? You've been through this so many times, these big stages, riding heavy favorites in grade ones. How do you handle the pressure in being in situations like this?
It's a lot you can actually do with all that energy. I mean, you can use it to help you. You can use it. It can certainly hurt you as well. It depends on how you're taking it. And very blessed that I am that I've been in these situations quite a bit, and it always helps. Experience always helps. But it is what it is. You can't let that kind of stuff get to you. I got a job to do, and I've been training my whole life to do that job, and I just go out there and I just do the best at it that I can.
Entries have been out since Wednesday. When does your preparation start for this race? Have you been going over the PPs and playing scenarios out in your head and how you see this race unfolding pretty much since Wednesday?
Yeah, okay, as soon as they come out,
yeah.
I mean, it's already in my head. I pretty much know the fillies that are running in there, and then I go over the PPs, and I go over every scenario that could possibly happen. But then again, after you've done that, several hundred times, all that stuff goes out the window, and you go out there and you warm your filly up. You get her nice and comfortable and happy and nice and loose, and you get her in the gate, get her standing well, and that first step is to me is very crucial. I mean, you want to get out of the gate good. I don't care if you're going, a mile and a half or 3/4 of a mile. It's always good just to jump well. I think it's good for a horse. It puts them into a good, comfortable rhythm, and that's just what I do with her, is just get her happy wherever that might be. So hopefully we'll get away from there well and let her do her thing. And so far, letting her do her thing has been what's working. She's so talented. She has a high cruising speed. She's got a lot of stamina, and I just try to stay out of the way.
How close to the bottom did you get on her, or get with her in this coaching club, American Oaks?
It was certainly the first time that someone's, put her to the test, to be honest with you. And it was for a good, I would say, maybe an 1/8 of a mile, that she actually matched me stride for stride, which no one's been able to do. But then once we got over, heading for home, got her over to the right lead, and I told her, okay, now let's see what you got here. And I reached back and I just touched her for the first time. And when I did, man, she jumped into it, and I said, wow, this race is, to me, I thought right away this race is going to move her up, because it's the first time that she's had to be tested. I mean, she's done everything pretty much well in hand. There's been a jump or two where I've had to let her out, let her run. But once she's got moving forward, I've never had to do anything with her. So sometimes these kind of races get inside of one, and it'll either make you hard or it'll make them back up. And from the looks of her right now, it seems to have made her hard. I went to see her this morning. I didn't recognize her. I mean, she looked amazing.
What stands out?
She's put weight on instead of lost it, which is a good indication that she handled it. Handled the race well. Her exercise rider Edgar said that she's absolutely training better than ever. She said she's dragging him around there. I mean, she'll drag him 1.5 miles around there like it's nothing, and can't wait to do more. So, if the way she looks right now is any indication of how she's going to run if it moved her up, man. Whew.
Going back to the coaching club American Oaks, when you look back at that race on the far turn and you're going past the 5/16, I think a lot of people watching that race, me included, there was a little panic that set in a little bit when Leparoux and Karina Mia came up towards you outside. What was going through your mind when midway on the far turn?
I couldn't believe that nice guy Leparoux pulled a knife on me. I mean, he pulled a big old switchblade on me out there about the 3/8 pole. I said, no, you got to be kidding me. And he did such a great job. I mean, he got up on her and looked her in the eye, and he tested her. I mean, he said either she's going to move on or I got this. And luckily for me, I was on Songbird, and she just moved on.
Well, she's a perfect 9 for 9. She's done everything so brilliantly. A combined all of her 9 career starts, she's won by a combined 47 3/4 lengths, averaging a 5 1/4 length win, the same margin in which she won the coaching club American Oaks. I read in quotes several weeks ago that you at one point were considering retirement, and that this filly, as long as she's going, that idea is being pushed aside. How serious were you in thinking that you were going to hang up the boots?
When you reach 50, you might have joke about it every now and then. I mean, everyone else does, and you might have kind of agreed with somebody or something like that. But I think I still got a good 4 or 5 years left in me. But I certainly won't even dream about doing it as long as she's running. She's the kind of horse that you really wish every owner, every trainer, every rider got the opportunity to be around and to be on, because it's what it's all about, man. It's something else. It's something, once you get a hold of one like this, you just don't want to let go.
The last time that you won the Alabama, you had the exact same silks on with Jostle for Rick Porter.
Mr. Porter.
Looking
and saying that, I don't mean to stop you, but I hope we could all send a prayer to him. He's going through a really rough time right now, and he's in hospital. Really wish he could have been here, but man, all your prayers would help. So I'd appreciate it.
Well, we certainly will do that. The entire TVG family and TVG fans out there, and we hope that he can watch this on television this afternoon. Jostle, pretty discreet. I mean, that was a hell of a run. 93.
Sky Beauty was
through
okay,
95.
right, Mike? She was a decent sort, no?
Oh, she was a monster. She was something else. And they all were. Heavenly Prize, a pretty discreet one. She was a long shot, but wow, what a race she ran that day. She won by like 15, I think. And then Jostle. I mean, I won the coaching club for Mr. Porter with her as well. So it'd be extra special to do it again today.
Before we let you go, there's so much talk, as there should be, about today's TVG Pacific Classic.
Yeah.
Beholder, Chrome, Dortmund. How would you approach this? Give me the perspective of each of these riders and how you would approach riding Chrome first and foremost from the rail, and then Beholder, and then where Dortmund falls into it, and how they'll be sorted out once they hit the backstretch.
Well, I mean, just off the top, without really, getting a chance to talk to my trainer, or whichever one it is I'm riding.
So you do listen to the trainer?
Oh yeah, and when you get to this stage, I mean, you listen to them, but they also entrust you. They know that why they hired you, so they let you go to Plan B if you have to. But if I was Victor, I mean, you definitely again, the first step is hopefully he's a good one. I mean, he's going to leave there out of the one hole, letting him run in that first turn, I would imagine, or at least a good 100 yards out of there to establish some sort of position and see what the other horses are doing. Dortmund on the outside, again, Bejarano has an opportunity here to put the pressure on him or go ahead and take the lead if he decides to back off of him. But again, he's going to want to get out of there, and you can't just let California go from the one hole. I mean, if you do that, then the race is pretty much over. And I think Gary drew the best spot. I think he's going to be able to kind of have that trip that she had last year, where she sits back 2-3 off of him and just makes that monster run at him. It's just a matter of her being as good as she was last year or not. So we'll have to wait and see. But out of the draw, I thought Gary drew the best. Again, sometimes the worst post turns out to be the best one. So it just, horse racing is a funny game. It'll humble you quick, and sometimes when you think you're up against it, it actually worked out your way. So the one hole could work out for California Chrome. We'll see.
When you ride against these guys day in and day out, 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day, I feel like you start to know these riders' tendencies over the years. They probably have a very good idea what you're going to do, and have a very good idea what Victor's going to do, what Gary's going to do, what Bejarano's going to do. If you're on California Chrome, down on the fence, what would you be anticipating Gary and Bejarano to do towards your outside?
Depending where they have him, I mean, if they have him pinned down in there, I'm sure they're going to want to keep him pinned down in there as long as they can. That would be the ideal thing to do. In saying that, I think it's going to be very difficult. He's a very talented horse. He's got gears. He's a much better gate horse this year than he was whenever, he did have trouble a time or two down in the one hole. I think that was stuff that was because he was younger, greener. I think he's over a lot of that. I think he'd sit in the pocket fine, and if someone does decide, to go ahead and get in front of him, I don't see no problem with him sitting in the pocket and being able to figure out his trip from there. But at some point somewhere he's gonna need to get clear and get moving forward, because Beholder's gonna come running.
You've ridden Beholder one time. Last question before we let you go. Get back to the jocks room. If you had to pick one of these horses to ride in today's TVG Pacific Classic, who would you want to be sitting on the back of?
Oh man, I'd be blessed to be on any of the three, to be honest with you. They're between Dortmund, California Chrome, and Beholder. I mean, they're all extremely talented horses, and if I was riding either one of them, to be honest with you, Scott, I would believe I'd have a shot. And I'd have to say, as a handicapper, you would think,
right?
You couldn't pick one over the other. I was supposed to ride California Chrome in the very beginning and missed that opportunity. So it'd be cool to have ridden him. But in saying that too, I got to ride the great Beholder, and wow, she's some filly, and it'd be an honor to get the chance to ride her, again in a race like that. But I wouldn't trade my place.
Yeah, you get to be
for
here
the
wearing
world
those
right now.
Soaks today.
So
Right.
luckily, I'm not in that spot. I have to pick between
Right.
those three, and I'm just happy with one I got.
Well, we appreciate it, Mike.
Thank you.
All the
Time,
best
Mike.
today.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Good
Thank
luck
you.
with
you.
Songbird.
Good luck today.
Thank you, guys.
One of the biggest class acts that we have in thoroughbred horse racing. Mike Smith joining us here on the set as he prepares for his 10th ride on Songbird in today's Grade 1 Alabama Stakes.
Bet anywhere with TVG.